Hello and welcome back to J.P.'s World of Wrestling. I am your man J.P. And today I'm only doing one video for you, but it's a pretty good one, I think. I've got my video arcade shirt on. This is a shirt from a local 80s style video arcade. Because today we're talking about video games. That's right, wrestling video games. Because I am rating these 4 video games right here. These are all Nintendo 64 video games. And I'm going to start with the WCW games because they came out first. It's a good place to start is at the beginning. So, when it comes to Nintendo 64, these 4 games I think were far superior as far as gameplay, controls, game engine. They were far superior to anything that came before them and after them. So I'm going to start with this one. WCW NWO World Tour from THQ for game or for play on Nintendo 64. Now, some people say, I've heard, that they feel like Nintendo 64 was kind of a loser system. They didn't like it. They thought it was stupid. I don't agree. I thought Nintendo 64 was a fine video game system, and I loved it, and I had a lot of fun playing these games. So this game right here, this was a game changer, so to speak. I mean, no pun intended, but this really did change the game of wrestling gaming. Just the way that the wrestlers moved around, the way the moves looked, in-game play, wrestler or match options, this game was amazing. This game was awesome. Wrestler selection. In fact, as far as just wrestler selection alone, this probably to me is probably my favorite of all of these. Just from wrestler selection alone. But basically you have WCW, and then you had the NWO guys, and then you had all these like independent, like around the world wrestling promotions where they selected different wrestlers from around the world in those various promotions. But in game, I mean, you had exhibition, you had tag team exhibition, you had battle royal, which is basically just a fatal 4-way match. You had handicap match. You had a tournament mode, round robin tournament mode. And for those of you who don't know what round robin is, that's where everybody wrestles everybody, and whoever has the most wins. So, and then they had league challenge, which is basically you pick 5 or 6 WCW guys, 5 or 6 NWO guys wrestle. Whichever team has the most victories wins. Because this is back when WCW first started running with the NWO. This is when the NWO was fairly new, and so they came out with this game, and it basically changed the world of wrestling games. So this is an amazing game, and I love it. I give 2 thumbs up because it's awesome. WCW NWO World Tour, or NWO versus WCW World Tour, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Which brings me to this game, WCW NWO Revenge for Nintendo 64 by THQ. And this is also a very good game. Now, the wrestler selection is awesome. The selection of arenas you can wrestle in is awesome. The gameplay is awesome. The only thing I don't like about this game are the match options. You basically have championship mode, where you just go after a championship, where you wrestle a gauntlet for a championship. And then you have various exhibition matches. You have single tag, then you have special match, which is, I think, handicap match, and battle royal, which you can have up to 40 guys. So those are the only options you have. Now, the difference between this one and the one I just talked about was, on this one, the wrestlers actually come out to the ring, whereas on this one, the wrestlers are pretty much already in the ring, and they have like a quick introduction where they raise their hand or whatever, but then you get right into the action. This one, if you like game theatrics, this one's pretty good because the wrestlers walk all the way down to the ring. They have an entrance, taunt, and it's a whole theatrical thing. But yeah, this is a pretty good game. But I still probably like this one just a little bit better just for the match options and the wrestler selection. But this is still a pretty good game. Now on this game, for the first time ever, you were able to change the outfits of wrestlers and you were able to change the names of wrestlers. That's something that was never even thought of, but it was a precursor to something that would be featured on the next couple games I'm about to talk about. But yeah, WCW NWO Revenge. Good game. So after that, WCW lost the license to the THQ games, but WWF won the license to the THQ games, or they just made a deal with THQ to start making the wrestling games. Now, before this, WWF games were made by Acclaim, and quite frankly, they weren't very good. You know, you got Warzone and I think Attitude. Both of those games were just terrible. Just multiple button combos to do just the basic moves. It's just, they weren't very. The only good thing about those games was the create a wrestler option, which is just amazing, just extensive create a wrestler options. But you couldn't really do anything with them anyway because the gameplay was just terrible. So that brings me to this game, WrestleMania 2000 WWF from THQ. Now this game is very good. I like it. The things I like about this game are the match options. You know, you have King of the Ring tournament mode. You have Royal Rumble mode. You have handicap match, or I think you have triple threat match. And there's championship mode, which is basically just Road to WrestleMania. And basically that's like a story mode. So then you can also create a pay-per-view, which is very cool because you can all have like an entire year's worth of storylines. And so that's a very cool thing. And you can actually create your own titles in this one. They have all the belts and you can name them whatever you want. Like you could have the Poopy Pants champion or whatever, or something more mature. But but yeah, you can create. The only thing that's not good is the wrestlers won't come out wearing the belt, and anybody can wrestle for the belt. It doesn't have to be the champion. So which is kind of dumb, but nevertheless you could create your own championship. And the creative wrestler options are pretty good. They're not terrible. They're pretty good. The only thing I don't like about this game is since it's an Attitude Era game, they've got a lot of Attitude Era guys that I don't care about and I never did care about. Guys like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Val Venus and, you know, Sexual Chocolate and guys like that. I mean, they have The Undertaker and Kane and Al Snow and Steve Blackman and the Blue Meanie and those, you know, few guys that I liked. There were a few guys in the Attitude Era that I did like, but for the most part, I didn't care about most of the wrestlers on here. You can change the wrestlers' outfits and change their name, and you can create a wrestler. So, but if you just change the name of a wrestler, I mean, yeah, you can change their whole personality or persona and everything, but you still are stuck with the same moves and the same taunts, and you can't do anything with their moves. But if you create a wrestler, you can actually create all their moves. You can create their outfit, the color scheme, their name, whatever, facial hair, hair length, whatever. You can do it all. So, all in all, this game gets a thumbs up from me. It's a pretty good game, and for the first time ever, also I should mention, finishing moves actually mean something. Now, on those other two games that I previously mentioned, the WCW ones, they had finishing moves, but they didn't really mean anything because they weren't very powerful. They weren't any more powerful than your regular moves. It's just when you got your special, you could do your finishing move, but it really wasn't really a finishing move because you really, really, really had to wear your opponent down before you could get a 3. You're more likely to get a submission on those than a 3 count, but nevertheless, this game, finishing moves actually meant something. So, WrestleMania 2000, overall, thumbs up. Like I said, the only thing I don't like about it, well, two things. First, the wrestler selection. I don't care about Attitude Era guys. And the arenas get kind of old after a while. You know, the arena selection is kind of limited. The Raw and Heat arena look exactly the same, virtually. And then all of the pay-per-view arenas are kind of, yeah, they're so-so looking. So, yeah, that's a downfall. But other than that, pretty good game. I enjoy playing this a lot. So that brings me finally to the creme de la creme of THQ Nintendo 64 games, No Mercy. Now, there was supposed to be a follow-up game, from what I hear, called Backlash that never came out. But nevertheless, this is a good game. The only thing I don't like about this game is because it was so expansive and so extensive and so detailed in the game, the battery on the cartridge would wear out pretty quickly and all of your progress would be erased. So that was a downfall. But the game itself is awesome, just amazing. And I wish wrestling games nowadays would follow this formula because it's just awesome. The detail in the wrestlers look more realistic. They cleaned them up a little bit from those previous games. They looked less blocky and more like actual wrestlers, and they cleaned up the taunts a little bit. You still have Attitude Era guys, but again, and the creator wrestler option is more extensive. Like they have more outfits. Now you have to play through championship mode in order to earn money, because you can actually buy different outfits in the SmackDown mall in the game, and you can buy new moves. You can buy different wrestlers, or you can unlock wrestlers by doing a survival mode, which is basically a Royal Rumble where all the guys come out in all of their outfits, 4 different times each guy. And the longer I think it's like up to 100 guys or even more, but the idea is to last as long as you can and earn as much money as you can. Then you can go into the SmackDown all and buy moves or outfits or wrestlers. But in survival, if a wrestler that you can unlock on the game comes down and you eliminate them, you've automatically unlocked them. You don't have to pay for it. But it's a good game, and you can wrestle backstage. If you throw your opponent down the aisleway and then backstage, you can wrestle backstage. There's 4 different rooms to wrestle in backstage. There's the boiler room, there's the locker room, there's a bar, and then there's the outside loading dock area. Or there's like the hallway, and you can put guys through tables on the game, and it's just an all around good game. I like it a lot, but like I said, the only downfall is it's mostly Attitude Era guys. Now you can create, some old school guys, like they have the old school like Big Boss Man outfit, so you can put the Big Boss Man in his old outfit. You can put the Undertaker in his old school outfit. You could put Mankind in his old school outfit. You can create old guys. Andre the Giant is on the game that you can unlock. So overall, it's just a really, really good game. And this is considered probably like almost the perfect wrestling game. Now, they did create like an emulator mod for this game that's all old school wrestlers, like all 80s wrestlers that you can download, but I'm not tech savvy, so I wouldn't know how to do it. I don't understand any of it. I wish that you could just send a way for them to put it in the form of a cartridge that you can play on your Nintendo 64 game. That's what I wish that they would do, but because I'm not that tech savvy. But anyway, yeah, WWF No Mercy. Very good game. Extremely good game. Like I said, my only downfall is that it's Attitude Era guys, but that's who was in the company at the time. So, but the good thing is the championship belts, the guy actually comes down wearing the belt on his shoulder, and the champion has to defend the title. You can't just say, oh, well, this guy's your champion and just give him the belt. No, In a title defense, the champion has to defend the title. So there's that. And so there's two different ways to establish champions. You can either do championship mode, or you could do pay-per-views. Just like on this game, you can actually create pay-per-views, which includes week-to-week Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and on pay-per-view. Or you could do they have Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Armageddon, Backlash, Survivor Series, SummerSlam. They've got a lot of different arenas, and they all look distinctly different. So the only two that don't really look all that different is the No Mercy set compared to the Monday Night Raw set. The only difference is Monday Night Raw has a ramp, and No Mercy's just straight through. But anyway, that's not a big deal. But yeah, very cool. And with the SmackDown, you get blue ropes. With the Royal Rumble, I think you get black ropes or something, or I don't know. But anyway, you get more a more variety of different arenas that you can wrestle in. So anyway, WWF No Mercy. And that is my personal review of those 4 video games for Nintendo 64. Now, there were other ones that were awful that maybe I can review sometime, but I don't have those. Maybe I'll try to acquire them just to review, just to have them so I can review them, just for something to do, But yeah, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of fun with those. I still play these games. To this day, I still play them. So, fun times. So that is going to do it for this video. So if you are new, you know what to do. Click the like button. Go ahead and please subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next time.